Hi, I'm Colin Wells, and welcome to Studio M, your McKinney ISD talk show. This episode of Studio M promotes the pen, the paper, and the words we spill onto the canvas of thought, or more accurately, the essays and articles our students formulate on their laptops and home computers for classroom assignments and contests. Today on the show, we celebrate 4 students from Faubion Middle School with a forte for writing. They'll tell us about their latest composition, Conquests. Also on the conversation couch with us today will be representatives from McKinney High. They're here to talk about a new writing initiative on their campus called MHS The Right Way. We'll feature all that and a McKinney ISD famous lookalike coming up next on Studio M. I am really excited about today's segment, and I'll tell you why, because it reminds me that I need to write my Christmas letter. So we'll have to get to that right after the show. But you know, the skill of competent writing is sometimes taken for granted by students and adults. Often we may quickly jot something down for a teacher or an employee that lacks all the grammatical and organizational finesse required to make a composition more than a text-style memo or a sloppy shorthand message. The state of Texas strives to emphasize superior writing skills at all levels of school, and one of their efforts to do so includes a contest called Ready Writing. This contest is for students in grades 3 through 8 and is designed to help them sharpen their writing skills, particularly in the ability to write more clearly and accurately while also incorporating interesting and original material. On the show now we have 4 students from Faubion who competed in Ready Writing and did very well. Please welcome Faubion 7th graders Carter Landis and Sabrina Bhargava and Sabrina Gagnon and Elizabeth Phillips. I'm going to get the names right one of these days. There they are. Down here on the end is...
I'm Elizabeth Phillips, and I'm an 8th grader. I placed 2nd in Ready Writing.
Oh, awesome. Well, congratulations. And our first Sabrina.
I'm Sabrina Gagnon, and I'm in 8th grade, and I got 1st place in 8th grade Ready Writing.
Oh, terrific.
I'm Sabrina Bhargava, and I'm in 7th grade, and I got 2nd place in 7th grade Ready Writing.
You guys say your names really, really well.
Yeah, you know, I've been living with my name for 13 years.
Oh, well, you have a lot of practice then.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, and Carter?
I'm Carter Landis. I'm in 7th grade, and I won 1st place in 7th grade Ready Writing.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Okay, so we got 2 7th graders and 2 8th graders. Is this the entire Ready Writing team from Faubion? Are there other writers?
Yeah.
There are other writers.
2 other 7th graders, but one of them couldn't make it, and then one of them was sick, so.
Oh, well, it's going around.
There's several other 8th graders, but at this first meet we could only take 4 people from each grade, and then at the next meet we can only take 3 from each grade.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Now, I understand a little bit about the Ready Writing competition. You are given 2 prompts, so 2 topics to write about, and the prompts tell you the style of writing you should write in, whether informative or persuasive or narrative. It tells you that ahead of time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. For this competition, the 2 topics, I saw them a minute ago. One was called A Rare Thing. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for bringing this. And one was called My Community. Carter, what did you write about?
I wrote about my community, and for my introduction, I had a dog analogy about how people usually refer to dog as man's best friend, but I said man is man's best friend because that's how God created us. And then I went to how people from our community, like our friends from church, and people we knew, helped us with things that we need. Like if we needed to borrow something, or if we needed to find a specialist, they would tell us, oh, this person's good, and go here.
Mm-hmm. So from that standpoint, you were looking at it kind of like an informative essay, I guess, with your own analogies, your own personal experience stories in there. Do you tend to put in a lot of personal experience stories in your writing?
Yes, I love to write narratives.
That's awesome.
That's my strong point.
That's awesome. I like that. I mean, that makes sense to me that you're talking about community and the relationships between people. Did you have to mention the dog part? There wasn't anything in the question about dogs.
That was my personal
That was just
analogy.
to your connection with.
Yeah, my
with the
sister
topic.
loves dogs, so I kind of thought of that.
Do you have a sister? Who else are in your family?
I have my other sister, I have twin sisters, and then I have my mom and dad.
Oh, that's great. What are your sisters' names?
Valerie and Rachel.
Valerie and Rachel, not Sabrina.
No.
Yep.
Just seeing how many Sabrinas we could come up with. Sabrina, let's move on to you. Tell us about what you chose.
I wrote about a rare thing, and I wrote about a rare thing, a smile, because a smile is rare as you grow older because people tend to stop smiling. And I started with the dictionary definition of the word smile, and then I started talking about a girl I know who, like, whenever I see her, she's always smiling, even though she lost her mom last year, and, like, she always finds a positive way to keep smiling, and it inspires me. So that's what I wrote about.
That's great. That's great. I like how you used the definition and then you went into, personal experience. That's great. Did you deliberate, like, over community versus a rare thing, or you just instantly knew?
I just knew rare thing because I just knew. I don't know.
Do you like to smile a lot?
No,
No? You seem like
Sometimes.
a happy
Yeah,
person.
You smile a lot.
I smile when I'm happy.
That's good. That's a really good observation about the world, about people. That's perfect. I mean, you could even spin that topic into the community question as well. That's clever. All right, well, let's move to the other Sabrina. Tell us about what prompt you chose.
I chose the prompt My Community, and I actually lived abroad for several years, and I moved here the summer before 6th grade, and I previously lived in India for 4 years, and so I wrote about my community there, and I talked about the life there a bit about my experiences, and I mentioned how because the people there were always coming and going, every year there'd be people who moved away, people who moved in, and I talked about how despite all that, despite that my community, I don't see all those people anymore. My friends, I still keep in contact with them, and I know they're always there for me if I ever do need them. So I wrote about that.
That's nice. I mean, the community isn't just a physical representation of people that are near you, but that they're always the people that you keep in contact with. Where in India were you living?
I lived in New Delhi.
New Delhi, okay. I visited India when I was in college, actually. I was in the northern part of India for 2 weeks, Chandigarh and Amritsar in that area. We did go to New Delhi I think we flew out of New Delhi on the way home.
Cool.
That's exciting. That's really cool. Well, that's a good choice. I mean, that makes perfect sense. You have
Yeah.
a very, very unique community that you can
Yeah.
refer to. That's awesome. Okay. And Elizabeth, how about you?
Well, I chose the prompt a rare thing. It was just a spontaneous decision. I knew that it was the right prompt to choose. And I wrote about my father because when I was in 6th grade, my dad passed away of cancer. And I chose death as the rare thing and seeing it because not many people have seen death, especially not the kind that I witnessed. And I used a lot of imagery to describe the scene to people because not many people know what that's like. And my dad is my idol. He's one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Yeah. Well, that is really, really brave, I guess, I should say, of you to pick that topic to write about. It's interesting to me that you look at it as a rare thing. Did you think of it as a rare thing before it happened, or have you, since this has happened, you've looked at your experience with your father as rare?
That's an interesting question. Well, I guess him dying in itself was rare because not many people have seen what I have seen, and it turned my life upside down. I've had to do a lot of things differently since then.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I noticed that because you provided us with a copy of the prompt that you had done your draft on the back of the paper.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the process that, maybe not necessarily specifically with this topic, but any ready writing exercise you've done, because I assume you guys have done some at school as well, not just a competition, what's the process for you going into writing something?
Well, Miss Bennett has taught us to first, you need to thoroughly read the prompt before you decide what you're going to do, because last year I was in ready writing as well, and I got disqualified because I did not answer all of the prompt.
Oh, no.
But we usually go through, we read the prompt thoroughly, and we think about what kind of essay we're going to write, like a narrative or an editorial, and then we go through and we plan out what we're going to write, usually by drafts or something like that, or a concept map, and then we go in and write, and if we need to, we edit from there.
That's terrific. Okay, and you guys said beforehand, before the interview, that you only get 2 hours for all of it.
Yes.
The planning and the writing of the final copy. I assume they give you like a specific piece of paper that you have to write your final copy on, or are you just writing it on notebook paper?
Just write it on notebook paper. They provide as much notebook paper as you want.
Hey, all right.
You just turn in whatever you want to turn in as your final draft.
Starting with Elizabeth, what are the kind of things that you like to write about, or maybe the style of writing that you like to do?
Well, I definitely like to tell about what's happened to me because I write what I know, and because that's so different from everybody else, I think that's why I did so well in ready writing, is because what I know is so unique.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Sabrina, what about you?
I like to do a variety of writing. I like to write a lot about my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions. I write a lot of narratives. I like to use a lot of metaphors and similes and connect things depending on whatever type of writing I'm using.
That's good. Can you think of one that you used in your community essay that falls in that category, like a metaphor that
Not
you used for something?
particularly. I talked just a lot about the connection that was not really visible, but that, I ended my story saying that no matter where I was, that through the invisible strands that forever connect a community, the hands of my friends will always be reaching for me.
That's good. That's good. Well, the hands and the
Yeah.
strands, that's perfect. And that even rhymes, too. Yeah. Okay, and Sabrina, what about you?
I like writing personal stories, like personal narrative stories, because same as Elizabeth, I write what I know, and I do not like writing expository writing at all.
Okay.
No.
That's all right. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Carter, what about you?
I love to write narratives, and I like to write action stories, because I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I have a pretty big vocabulary.
That's why you're on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a good vocabulary.
Yeah, I've read all the Harry Potters in 2nd grade, and so I've been able to store a lot of those words in my brain. It's the one thing I'm good at remembering. Math facts, not so much.
But words are good for you.
Yeah, and I like to write narratives and action.
That's cool. Okay, so here's my own personal question. Have any of you written any plays? Dialogue of any kind?
Skits.
For his
Skits?
I've written
Screenplays?
for school all the time.
Yeah, we do skits all.
Something like
All right, this is your homework assignment.
No,
To write your
Yay!
your first 10-minute play. I asked just because I love to write dialogue. I love to write character, establish a character and the voice of that character and what do they say. What you guys do in narrative, essentially, it's usually just one character that you're speaking from that character's point of view. I am so proud of you guys for how successful you were. Do you get to compete again this year?
Yes. Yep. In February?
Yes.
February.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like Miss Bennett is doing a good job.
We love her so
love her.
much.
Oh, yeah.
We all had her in 6th grade.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, then you knew what to expect, and that's why you're working so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome. Thanks for being on the show, guys, and enjoy the snacks on the way out.
Carter.
Okay. We need to take a short break, but when we return, we'll look at MHS, the right way.